Hey, what is up, my fellow golf ball addicts? We are doing another triple review today, and this time once again from Maxfli, but this time we're taking a look at their budget options opposed to their tour line. We have the Softfli, the StraightFli, and even the TriFli. Let's dive right in. Guys, if you love this content, please like, comment, subscribe. That way it helps the algorithm. And then also, if you want to support further, we do have a membership that just starts at $1. You can do that as well. Thank you all so much who have done that. It really does help the channel out a lot. So Maxfli is becoming one of the most requested reviews I do every year. And it's funny because not only were there tons of requests for the tour lineup, which we went through, did a triple review on maybe a couple weeks ago, but people want to see the Softfli and the StraightFli and the TriFli also. And so here we are again. I moved this up because there was so many requests. Let's go ahead and touch base on what we got. Let's start, of course, with the Softfli. Now, traditionally, the Softfli has been, the soft, two-piece, slow swinger, squishy kind of model, forgiving, all that good stuff, maybe for a junior, something like that. I know they make it in the women's as well. But yeah, that's what that golf ball has always been intended for. I'm going to assume for now that that's the same. We'll see if it changes. Once we move into the StraightFli, as you can see, the StraightFli is going to have a little bit firmer compression. It's designed to, go long and straight, still be a two-piece, be forgiving, but it's for someone who swings probably in the mid to fast and they want to see exceptional distance and they don't really need spin as much. Then you get into the TriFli, which is a three-piece iometer model, still at a really good price point there, which I'll touch on in just a second, but a great three-piece model, to be honest with you. And this is going to be for people who want a probably an introductory three-piece ball. They're looking move from a two-piece to a three-piece and they don't want to spend a lot of money. They want to see if it's for them. Something like this would be really cool. So let's talk about the price point here. So when it comes to the StraightFli and the Softfli, it's really phenomenal. I mean, you're looking at basically an MSRP price of $19.99, but you can get them 2 for $35 or four boxes for $60, and that's really, really, really good. I mean, $15 a dozen if you get them in bulk. Even for a two-piece budget ball, that's really, really good, especially with how the performance has been from these golf balls in the past. They've been really good. So you take a really good golf ball, you're only paying $15 a dozen. It's one of the best values you can get on the market. The TriFli, on the other hand, has been lowered when it comes to the MSRP. You're now looking at $24.99, as you can see there. But again, it gets even better. 2 for $40, so 20 bucks a pop, or 4 for $75, which is going to be under $20 a dozen. And again, three-piece iometer at that price point is just insane. Even if the golf ball is just an average golf ball, that's a really great price point for people who are still losing a few in rounds and they don't want to see those dollar signs just go into the trees. Let's get into the designs of these. Let's start with the Softfli. Now, as you can see, this one's got some paint kind of graffiti on it here. Maxfli actually has some really interesting designs this year. I give them a lot of credit. You can, of course, get the plain white if you want. You can also, again, it comes in a yellow as well, just nice and plain. There's also some matte options as well, which is great. Some neon bright colors from what you can see there. But it gets even better because they do have this paint splatter design. It reminds me of the Vice Drip a little bit, but I like it because it is different. I mean, you got that spray right in the middle there. This is the pink one I'm holding, and then you got the little dots around. It does kind of look dirty. I know it's not going to be for everyone, but I love it. I think it's very youthful, and again, it just gives golfers options. I mean, if you want to still go with the traditional white, you can, but having options is great. These are in different colors, as I showed you as well, so that's kind of cool also. Then you get into the StraightFli, but same kind of thing there. You have a design with the paint splatter on it. You have matte options, a little bit different colors on the matte options with the StraightFli, but still they're there. High-vis colors, great. If you want just plain white, you can just do plain white again, which again gives you options. Then if you come into the TriFli, now we get a little different because yes, you have your basic, but they also have these Pix versions, which as you can see from this one, this is the dollar sign. They also have a really cool skull one that I wanted, but it was sold out unfortunately, and they got beer cans. And also when it comes to the TriFli, this is actually a 360 alignment tool they have, and this is actually really unique as well. So lots of options, and I love it. That's what I want to see, is options for different golfers. Some guys are traditionalists, some guys like the pop like me, but just having those options is great. So really 10 out of 10 design. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Great alignment tools, great designs, different options, different colors, different materials. What more could you really ask for? I mean, that's awesome. The Maxfli logo looks great. You know, this is what the front of the Maxfli looks like. You know, it's iconic, but it's also still been modernized. Then you come around to the side to the alignment tool. You know, they have the two lines on top, or two lines, one on top, one on bottom, and then it just says whatever the golf ball is in the middle. That works really well. Even on this golf ball where it's very busy, I know it's hard to see because it's pink, it's reflecting the light, but it is easy to see. I mean, it really is, especially if you're outside and you got a green contrast, you know, because that's what the grass and everything is around you. It really pops, it does. Now, when it comes to the alignment tool on the TriFli also, it is kind of like the Pix version from TP5, so you can actually just line that up like that, and as you can see, I don't know if I'm pulling it up very well, but it'll line up that way too. So many options. I mean, I'm sitting here, how long? 5 minutes on the design. Like, there's lots of design options. Great job, Maxfli. A lot of people are really going to like that a lot. I know I do. So let's get out to the chipping and putting green, and let's see how they do around there. All right, Softfli first. Oh, wow, so much spring. I overhit it. That's going to take a learning curve here. Wow, some serious bass effect there. That actually had a little bit of rotation. Let me try it one more time here. It's very bouncy ballish here. It's very squishy coming off of the wedge. Yeah, there's definitely some rotation there. Yeah, no left or right spin. I tried to get it. There's not enough rotation there. It's like 25–30%. All right, StraightFli now. Again, wow, so much spring off the club. I'm gonna have to adjust to this one too. Again, really healthy checkup there. That's not bad at all for a two-piece. Same type of bouncy ball effect as the Softfli, but there's a firm press in the hands. You can feel it now, and it does make a little bit of a low click sound, as you can tell from hopefully the microphone. But yeah, a little different, just a little step up. Still plenty of spring. Yeah, really nice checkup there. High launch too. There may not be a ton of spin, but it launches high. That kind of forgives it a little bit. Yeah, maybe just the tiniest bit of left spin, but not a lot, so. Really good feel though. It's gonna take a lot of people some time though to get used to the fact that when you hit it, you're gonna go probably 4 or 5 yards further than you're used to on your chips. So that'll take some adjustment, but it's not a bad thing. All right, TriFli. Now I expect this one to spin the most. It is 3-piece, so let's see. Okay, kind of a firm release. I mean, it had checkup, but it actually had the firmest release I've seen. Let's try one more time here. There we go. Yeah, excellent checkup. Excellent checkup. Yeah, beautiful amount of spin when it's hit just right. Really good checkup. Kind of a mid-flight, sometimes high, mid-high, somewhere in there, but an excellent amount of checkup. All right, gonna putt the Softfli first. We have our mallet. You know, this is our thicker, heavier putter. We'll see how it feels here with this. Now bear with me, I am gonna try some of the tips that I've been getting online from you guys based on what you've been seeing. I appreciate those. Doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I love the tips, guys. Keep them coming. Yeah, no, not bad. Very dead feeling. There's no sound. There's really no feel in the hands at all. It actually had a 9 out of 10 true roll. Not bad. Really nice, actually, but just no feeling. If you're someone who likes feedback, yeah, well, good luck. Oh, I just didn't get it there. What a shame. That's still good, though. Really good distance control so far. Oh, that was awful. I felt the club swing in my hands. I'm still getting used to it. Still not bad though. The roll's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. That's definitely a 9 out of 10 true roll. All right, mallet with the StraightFli now. Whew. Now this one has a click and it has a little firm press in the hands. I like it, just a little bit to kind of let you know some feedback. This golf ball feels really good. Whew, I love that. Oh my goodness, a little hot, but man, that was nice. That's like a 10 out of 10 roll. I'm gonna try this one. If this one's really good also, that's gonna be a 10 out of 10 roll by far. Oh yes, it is. That's a 10 out of 10 roll. That's a 10 out of 10 feel. I love that. Just light and crispy, comes off the club, little smooch, chef's kiss. That's one of my favorite feeling golf balls of season 5 so far when it comes to the putter. All right, last but not least, we have the TriFli. Oh, heavy. Little chug effect. Ugh. Okay, could have been me. Could have been me. Let's try it again. No, again. Wow. Let me validate the parking here just before I go on a rant. Yeah, that is horrendous. Every time I got the same consistent, basically feedback when I hit it. It feels heavy, it feels dead at the same time. It's dead, it's heavy, there's like no sound, the feedback is gross, even when you hit it really, you know, good. I couldn't putt with that. There's just no way, and there's chug effect every single time. So I would say the roll is like a 6 out of 10, which might be the worst I've ever seen. I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. I hate to be that negative, but man, I do not like the sound, I do not like the feel, I do not like the roll. I don't like it. All right, now we have our traditional blade putter, an Old Odyssey. Let's see if this is any different. Oh my goodness. That's legit. That's what I've been craving for years. The sound was the perfect level of crisp. The feedback was just like a light, you know, little, almost just, I don't know how to describe it, guys. It's a 10, it's an 11 out of 10. That is phenomenal. We're gonna validate the parking. Please, God, let it be just like that. Again, I mishit it and it still felt great. I mean, it let me know it mishit it. I could tell by the sound, I could tell by the feel, but it doesn't matter. It's like when you make a mistake and your buddy pulls you to the side and says, hey man, you goofed, but that's okay, I still love you, your family still loves you. I made you some soup, go ahead here, I put your favorite TV show on. Like, that's the type of forgiveness I like, that's the type of feedback I like. Like, you know, gosh dang it, be there for your homies, guys. I just love it, I just love it. I didn't make any of them, but I don't care, that's phenomenal. Love the roll, 10 out of 10 roll, 10 out of 10 feel, that's great. Now I'm interested to see about the StraightFli because that was my favorite before. So let's go ahead and let's see. Oh no, I don't like it as much. And it went in, that's kind of hilarious. But no, I don't care for that as much as the Softfli. That's interesting. Really good though. It's still really good. Feels a 9 out of 10. The true roll is probably a 9 out of 10. It's still excellent. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's a little disappointing compared to the last with the mallet. Yeah, you know, not as good. That's interesting. I prefer the Softfli with a blade, and I prefer the StraightFli with a mallet. Sometimes that does happen, but if you match up the right putter to the right ball, if you get, you know, the Softfli with a blade putter, and if you get the StraightFli with a mallet putter, it is seriously probably the best golf ball I've ever felt with a putter. It is so crisp. My goodness, 11 out of 10 if you match those up right. I love that. TriFli, come on now. Impress me. Why is it that the ugliest hits I have go in the hole? Can someone explain that to me? It's just so bad, guys. It's just so bad. The chug effect is just, I think I'm gonna throw up. I just can't handle it. Yeah, I spent the last few minutes, you know, in deep meditation trying to figure out something positive to say about the TriFli when it comes to greenside. You know, as far as putting, there isn't. It does have some checkup. It's not bad. It's not bad with a wedge, but anything with the putter, I have no use for it. I really don't. I hate to be that negative, but it's just the truth. Like I said, with the StraightFli and Softfli, you match them up to the right one. Regardless, they're both great. Maxfli does an excellent job around the greens, and I'll tell you what, whatever formula they have, whatever they've figured out, it's working. Keep at it. Little 7-iron action here. Let's see what we got. Not as soft as you would think it would feel. I mean, really, it's just, it's not. It feels like Titleist True Feel, kind of, you know, soft, but there's feedback for sure. You can feel it, and it's not squishy. It's not got bouncy ball. Yeah, I mean, you do get a really good feeling. I call it like a 4 out of 5 when it's pure, but I mean, anything other than pure is kind of not my bag, not my cup of tea, but it's not a terrible feeling, but it's just when you think of a soft golf ball, that's not what I think of. I think of squishy, marshmallow, maybe a little dead. This has a little bit of tour-like feeling to it. Just a little, not a lot, but just a little. Totally different than the Softfli I remember. Very similar feel. It's a little heavier and it's a little firmer, you can tell, than the Softfli. It's a higher compression, but really similar feel. Again, little bit of tour ball, not a lot, but just a little bit. You know, you mishit it, it lets you know. There's a lot of feedback. It's interesting. That's not the StraightFli I remember either. That's completely different from what I'm used to. The StraightFli has been in our top 20 2 years in a row. I don't recognize this ball. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. We'll find out, but that is different for sure. That is not what I'm used to. Last but not least, the TriFli. Probably the heaviest of the three, but again, same feeling. I mean, this is all in a tiny spectrum, and you know, you got Softfli, StraightFli, and then now TriFli. They all feel similar, but that one does feel the firmest of the three for sure. Not a bad feeling. Pures kind of have that press. I would call it a 4 out of 5 on all of these. But when it comes to forgiveness, you know, not traditionally what I'm used to. See, a little heavy. I mean, that was pure, but there was a little sting in the hands, you know. That one actually might be a 3 out of 5 on pure hits, because it just, again, not what I would want from a pure strike. I want my pure strikes to really feel like I have some power behind them. Oh, yeah, and then you mishit it, and yeah. It's not terrible. It really isn't. I might be over-exaggerating a little bit, but the reality is that these are firmer. These are new. You know, I don't recognize these. These are not how they used to be. So we'll look at more of that when we get into the numbers. But overall, lack of forgiveness, decent feeling, mishits, you're going to feel it. There's plenty of feedback in this. Very detailed feedback, which for budget balls like this is kind of unheard of. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk some data here. Let's start with the 50-yard pitch, backspin RPM. We are looking at the Softfli having 7,894, which I know is a red number. It's just slightly below average, but still, I have no issue with that being a two-piece softball like that. That's amazing. 7,968, that's kind of your mid, but still for the StraightFli, that's supposed to be a very low spin ball, so I'm happy with that. And then look at the TriFli. I mean, look at that thing, you know, kicking down the door and really making its presence felt, you know, putting its shoes up on the couch. You know, you can buy a new couch. Now, I know there's going to be a few of you on this channel that are going to be like, man, I wish it was urethane. But the thing is, when you're ripping that much spin, you don't need urethane. It's not really going to, I mean, it's not going to make that big of a difference. This golf ball is going to bounce. It's going to rip back to you regardless of what the cover's made of. Starting with the Softfli, 95.1 on your ball speed, which is about average, 78.2, which is, you know, right where I want to be, 7,175 spin. That is really above average spin, so it's going to have some rip back on a pitching wedge. 24.9 on your launch, 120.2 on your carry, which is a little bit lower than my average, 120.5, again, lower than my average, but boy, not a lot of rollout. That spin really is helping it stop on a dime. Smash factor, just kind of average there. So moving into the StraightFli, you know, 95.5, 78.8, 7,363, you know, and then again, when you get to the distance, it's even a little bit worse, which is kind of surprising. I thought I was going to be able to compress this one a little bit better, so that's kind of interesting there for sure. But I did notice the spin is a lot higher, so that's probably why I lost the yard. I mean, you're talking about a ton of spin on that rip back. I think that's one of the highest I've tested with a pitching wedge this year, so that's significant. Then you get in, of course, to the TriFli, and you know, not much to talk about there. It was a loss of ball speed, it was a loss of distance, and on top of that, it was really high spin, so that took off a couple yards also. So I'm glad I got the spin, but I'm not happy I lost that many yards. I mean, that losing 5 or 6 yards from my average is kind of a red flag. So We'll have to see that TriFli. It does feel firmer. I'll talk more about that later, but it's definitely a firmer model, and maybe that's why with the wedges sometimes that happens. Looking at the 7-iron there, starting with the Softfli, as you can see, you got mid spin, you got mid ball speed. Club speed was just a little higher than my average, so that kind of concerns me a little bit. But 18.2, that's kind of the mid one of the group. 162 and 163.4 are lower than my average, and that smash factor wasn't very good. If you look over on the StraightFli, kind of the same thing. Really bad ball speed. That's disappointing. The spin is mid, excuse me. It launches low, which makes sense for a distance ball. That usually is what they do. But again, lost in distance, lost in the smash factor as well. But then you get to the TriFli and you've actually got, okay, 116, really good ball speed, some great spin there, above average spin. It's going to have some checkup. It actually launches high, which is kind of like what most X model golf balls do, excuse me. 162.9 and 164.1 are average. Again, you have a little bit more spin, so I'm fine with that. But again, low smash factor. So there's not a lot there, unfortunately, that's really eye-popping. A lot of it's really mediocre. It's not really bad per se, but I mean, it's definitely not good either. There's a lot of red, there's a lot of yellow. The TriFli kind of comes through there with some green, but other than that, it's kind of disappointing. I was hoping for a little more. Last but not least, we get into the driver, and now this is where I see some green, and you know what? Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, because look at these numbers. 139.8, 2040 low spin with that, 227.2, 236.3, all gains, average smash factor, not bad. And again, if you go to the distance, you've got, or the StraightFli, excuse me, 141.3, 2045, low launch again, of course, 228.9, 238.6, great gains, love that, that's awesome. 140.7 with the TriFli. Now this is the one that really sparks my interest, because you'll notice the swing speed's a little less, but I got really good ball speed. 231.2, 239.8, and a great smash factor there. Boy, I am really glad that the driver saved some of these numbers, because they weren't really that impressive. I think 50-yard pitch-wise, very impressed. And then I think, pitching wedge, and then I think 7, but now driver, I'm like, okay, now that's impressive. So it kind of averages out in the middle. It's a really average performance. There are great things about it, but there's also definitely some negatives for sure. This golf ball I don't think is going to win any awards, any of them, but there's something interesting about all three of them that I want to cover when we get to the conclusion, because I was surprised. I had in my mind what these golf balls were, and now that I've tested them and I've seen them, that's not the case. I don't know if it's changed, last year or 2 years ago, or if this is the first year, but there's definitely a change. I'll cover that in the conclusion. I want to talk real quick about accuracy and dispersion. Let's look through these charts real quick and let's see what we're working with. Okay, so starting with the Softfli, as you can see there, the main issue I see with this golf ball in particular is the distance control. It does seem to be kind of all over the place if you look at all the clubs. Accuracy-wise, not bad. Right down the line at the 50-yard pitch. Pitching wedge, everything's going to be on the green, and there's some groupings of dots there, as you can see, that are really impressive. Then you get to the 7, and 8 out of 10 of those are just right in the middle. I absolutely love that. I would say this definitely has some really good accuracy. Distance control is hit and miss. I would say it's average, but man, it is very, very accurate. Then you get to the driver, and I mean, again, driver is all going to be in the fairway. I'm not the best in the world at it, but I got some pulls, I got maybe a push, but everything's going to be in the fairway, so that definitely gets a passing grade. So that's not bad at all. Let's move into the StraightFli. Now I expect the StraightFli to be a little better, but as you can see there, boy, that's well, let's just cover it, one by one. Getting into the 50-yard pitch, the accuracy is just okay. Distance control is all over the place. Boy, when you get into that pitching wedge, though, the accuracy is outstanding. I mean, everything is right there. That might just have been a really good 10 shots from me, but my goodness, there are some serious darts thrown there. Distance is kind of all over the place, though, especially, it kind of looks like a staircase. That's kind of interesting. But look at the 7. Look at the distance difference on that 7. I mean, this is a punishing, forgiving, this is a golf ball that does not have a lot of forgiveness, and it's very obvious from that, because if you hit it well, you can see those 4 dots at the top. You mishit it a little, look what's on the bottom, so kind of disappointing there. And then the driver is all over the place. Now it does look like I pushed one way right, but still, I mean, there's distance-wise, it's all over. There's no consistency there whatsoever. It just looks like a random dot, like connect the dots for kids or something. So not happy with that. Let's look at the TriFli now. And boy, this right here, this is kind of what dreams are made of right here. This is the kind of stuff that you see in the magazines, folks. Accuracy is insane. You know, distance on the 50-yard pitch is okay for the most part, but that's kind of relative to what everything else has been, so who cares? Pitching wedge, you know, you got 1 and 2. It looks like I absolutely flushed and got a little further, but look at the other 8 out of 10. They're all right there. If the flag was there, I'd be, you know, within 10 feet on all of them. That's awesome. 7-iron. Now, 7-iron accuracy is a little all over the place because it looked like I kind of hit one left, but take away those 2 on the left and look at the other 8 right there in the center. That's awesome. Little bit of a push to the right, but still, that's my fault. That's not, you know, the golf ball's fault. That's insanely accurate. Distance is pretty good for the most part. And then look at the driver. Everything is right there in the center of the fairway. That's the best of the bunch right there by far. So the TriFli, I would say, is very accurate, very good dispersion, definitely the best of the 3 for sure. Let's talk durability real quick. Now, I'll just cover the StraightFli and the Softfli together, and there's no other way to say it. These are 10 out of 10s. I mean, I washed the golf ball, and you guys know my rule. If I put it back with the others and I can't tell which one I tested, then it's a 10 out of 10. And some of you might realize, yes, you know, the black and the speckles being on there might have helped the golf ball a little bit, and it might have, but I also do the feel test, and when I feel these things, they feel brand new. They feel right out of the package. A full round, 80 shots. You can't ask for any better than that. 10 out of 10, perfect. Now, when it comes to the TriFli, it's a little different. I do want to show you this one. You'll notice there are some dirt abrasions. There's some scratches here and there. Nothing terrible, but you can kind of see them. It's visually, like, you can definitely tell it's been hit a bunch. And then if I do the feel test, you know, there's a couple tiny little rough spots. You know, I would call it an 8.5 out of 10. We don't do halves. I'm going to bump it up to a 9. I'm going to be nice because it is a really good durability ball for sure. Feeling it, I mean, it's barely anything there. I would still trust it putting. I would still trust its flight. I would still trust all that. And that's after a full round. So absolutely 9 out of 10. So Maxfli, for some reason, always just does a phenomenal job with their durability. And it's no different here. That's impressive. So great job, Maxfli. All right, so conclusion, final thoughts. I know this was a lot of information fast, and I'm talking fast. I'm just trying to get through so much of it. I thank you for bearing with me. This is interesting because I always viewed the Softfli as the 2-piece beginner ball for seniors. It's soft, it's squishy. They make it in a women's version, so I figured it was, you know, very, very soft, kind of like the Callaway Super Soft, very dead. And then the StraightFli I always viewed as a pure distance ball. Not a lot of spin. Hit it, watch it go, keep it straight. Don't, you know, no out of bounds, no in the rough, just straight and far. And that's what I've always recommended it, and that's what my past tests have been. And then the TriFli, I just never cared for it. I had so many issues with losing distance and just bad forgiveness, and I never cared for it. The way this has changed is that it's not that way. So think of it this way. You have the Maxfli Tour S, Tour, and Tour X, which all are 3 golf balls that are for different high-level, you know, elite golfers. Maybe not elite, but just really good golfers, maybe close to scratch, bend the ball left and right, you know, impose what they want to do at their will. You know, a 78's a bad day for them, that type of, you know, golfer, right? They do offer that type of tour response and tour feedback and tour feel and tour bendability, and they do a great job at it. That is that lineup, right? But then you come to this lineup, and it's actually more like the Vice Pro Soft or Air, the Pro, and the Pro Plus. That's what this Maxfli line has become. The Maxfli Softfli reminds me of a Titleist TriFli. It reminds me of a golf ball that is a 2-piece. It is softer, but it has a little bit of bendability. It has a ton of backspin. It has some feel in it. It has some responsiveness. When I reviewed the TriFli, I said it's a golf ball for people who want some tour ball qualities, like, you know, a little bit of them, but not a ton. That's what this reminds me of to the T. And so I wouldn't call it like a forgiving senior ball anymore. I would call it, you know, a softer ball for people who are good at golf and they still kind of want to bend it left and right and have some checkup and yada, yada, yada. That's completely separate from what I thought this golf ball was. Then you move into the distance, you know, and I thought, okay, no spin, long and far. Well, no, the spin's fantastic. It actually has a lot of rip back to it, and it's not really that long. So now it reminds me more of like a Pro model, like a Vice Pro. It has bendability left and right. It has a little bit firmer of a feel. It has a little bit firmer feeling around putting and things like that too. It kind of reminds me more of Maxfli's own version of that. And then when you get into the TriFli, that's like the X model. And there's a lot of things about the TriFli that remind me of an X model golf ball. It's firmer off the club face. It does punish you on misses. miss hits, but off the driver it has a phenomenal ceiling, and off short wedges it does come up short because it does feel like I'm not compressing it all the way, and that's exactly how X model golf balls feel. So my recommendation, you know, what I'm trying to get into, the point I'm trying to make is, who is this golf ball for? Well, I would say the Soft is for someone who likes like the Vice Pro Air. If that's your bag, if that's your cup of tea, something like this would be Maxfli's version. I know it's not the same number of layers. I know it's not your thing. I don't care. That's what it reminds me of. Kind of like a Titleist True Feel, a Vice Soft, a Pro Soft back in the day. And then when you get into the distance, it's no longer just a firm two-piece, you know, hit it low, watch it go. It kind of is like a Pro. You can bend it left and right a little bit. But if you're someone who is swinging really fast, you know, 105, 110, I think the TriFli is right up your alley. Hey guys, just want to jump in here real quick. I know some of you are going to say that, you know, the TriFli cannot be an X model golf ball because of the compression. But here's the thing: when I do the testings, I usually don't look up the compressions beforehand, and the reason I don't do that is because I like my feel of the golf ball and how it tests and how it performs and how it acts to be how I judge it. I don't like knowing that going in, because then I get a lot of things that I just assume. You know, if I see 35, I just automatically kind of get it in my head and I make assumptions and go, okay, yeah, it's going to be a soft, for, you know, I don't like to do that. So I know some of you are going to be like, well, Nick, it can't be an X model golf ball. It's a 45 compression. Like, it makes no sense. I understand that, but these compression numbers really just don't mean what they used to. And a prime example is this golf ball, because it feels firm, it feels heavy. I don't like it off the club. I know it's dead. I know it doesn't make a loud click on a lot of stuff, but the reality is that it acts in a lot of ways like an X model golf ball. And in fact, I actually, with each of these golf balls, I try to do a how far will it go, where I take a 106 mile an hour swing and hit. The TriFli is the only one out of all three of those that I actually got up to 250 yards carry. The other ones, 239 was my max. So think about that. An 85 compression distance, you know, StraightFli, I couldn't get any more out of it. I couldn't squeeze any more juice. I was swinging hard. I was hitting really good. And even when I had 105 mile an hour swing speed, I'd get like 140 carry with the StraightFli. The TriFli, though, up to 250. And so I get it. I understand the compression numbers, but I also believe what I see with my eyes. I also believe what I see on the data table. And this golf ball reminds me of, you know, that value X model, you know, even though it is soft. So it could be worth a try of some of you, but I've never experienced a golf ball that was this low a compression that felt so firm. This one's definitely a new one for me too. This golf ball isn't going to win any awards, but there's a lot of stuff it does really well. Design this year, top notch. Durability, top notch. Spin, some of the best in the industry. You spin freaks that get on here all the time and comment and they're like, oh, I got to have that checkup. I want the rip back. Here you go. I mean, all three of these golf balls do a great job at that, and I was really surprised because it just shows how far the technology has come for two-piece golf balls. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. Love to know your comments and everything in the bottom. I have some cool news for you, all right? Now, when it comes to the Maxfli lineup, I know a lot of you would love to try them out, I'm sure. I have put together some sample packs that are for sale on my eBay page. You can get that link in the description and the Linktree link, but it'll take you to eBay, and essentially you can buy a sleeve of each of these. I have a 3-sleeve pack. It has the Softfli, it has the TriFli, and it has the StraightFli. You can get a sleeve of each of them so you can try it out, and it's at a discounted rate to kind of help you out. And then same thing with the Tour Series. I have the same thing. If you want to try the Tour Series out, you can do that as well. So that'll give you guys a chance to kind of, it's a first come, first serve. I'm sorry if you don't get a chance, but that'll kind of help some of you out, and you can try all three of them, and that'd be nice. So I hope that helps some of you out. Guys, as always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. I'll see you soon.